A former diplomat and ambassador to the Middle East, Dr. Shamir Ally says that Guyana is in the crosshairs of the fight between the United States and China.
And so Guyana is in the crosshairs of Washington because of a China connection. That's another reason why the American ambassador, I'm sure she's aware of, has been engineering for more American involvement. But Washington is very, very upset, and that's a very, very deep strike.
His comments came during a podcast entitled Alliance on the Move. He also addressed the current situation with Venezuela. He said that he had an interesting discussion with President Nicolas Maduro in the not-too-distant past.
You know what he said? It is your Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Your government is in trouble. We want joint development. We want to. But all this hell and you going, it's not going to work. I will not give up. He said, but you've got to follow the laws. He said, laws are there. I have the might. I have the power. I have the oil. I will never give up.
He said that the recent decision by Foreign Minister Hugh Todd to call in the Venezuelan ambassador was a little too late.
You have to do your back channel work on site in Venezuela, in and around, even at the president's office. Meet some of his secretaries, tell your story, carry up a bottle of goodies and have a meeting, says, I come, this a little something. Can I explain Guyana's story? You have to be creative, think out of the box.
Recently, 6 Guyana Defense Force soldiers were shot along the border. Leader of the Alliance for Change, Nigel Hughes, said that many Guyanese are concerned about what is happening along the border.
Guyana should, and the Army in particular, have a range of options of scenarios that are likely to happen, and therefore the Army must have a range of reactions and responses that they have. In coordination with that, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the global, I don't want to say propaganda, the Global Communication Center coming out of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs should have specific scenarios. So one of the obvious scenarios that I'm sure the Guyana Defense Force has is what happens if the attack doesn't come from the Venezuelan army, but it comes from the sindicatos or some criminal element.
Yeah. He said that there is the possibility that Venezuelan criminal elements could make attacks that shouldn't catch Guyana flat-footed. He said that Guyana can buy satellite time that will provide real-time information.
So you can get that within 15 minutes of an attack, because all of that should be put in place. And therefore you can see from what happened that these guys come from an army base, you know.
He said that Guyana didn't even have the capacity to move the wounded.
How they operated, where did they go to? And God forbid, if this was indeed a provocative act, what happens if another set of sindicatos somewhere else on that Guyanese River launch an attack on a village?
He said that Guyana needs a national plan of foreign affairs that's tuned to the reality.
And then the following day, the head of state says, we can have an investigation and then react. What that says to me is that you are completely, or we, sorry, because it's not a political issue, we are completely ill-prepared and unprepared for anything looking like a moderately sophisticated act of provocation.
Adam Harris, 9 News Break.